The Siddhas won't do anything. They want to preach, they want to give lectures, they won't give any teachings. If you just sit in front of them, even if he doesn't look at you, he doesn't touches you, or he doesn't speak with you, your whole being will be changed just by sitting in front of them. This is the grace of a Siddha. And people know it, but at the same time they do not know it. I feel bad sometimes, They go to test, what kind of saint he is. So when you go with that intention, the Siddha will act according to your bhavana. If you think he is just a fake, he will act like that. But if you have that bhava, he's he's just like God. He has come on this earth in the form of you will find him the same grace in him. So all these qualities have been depicted in Ramayana. Anything?
You're doing very well.
But I'm a bit embarrassed, I must say, that whether anybody can understand it easily or not. If there is any difficulty, I am here at your service. Because at the same time, this love, word love, we talk about love, but actually what love is, nobody can describe what actually love is. We say, I love you. What do you mean by that? Love is something that cannot be expressed in words. It can be a thing to be experienced. I would have given you examples, but the traditions in India and in America, they differ. So I will give you an example. When there is wedding ceremony, the bridegroom comes with his friends, about 50, 60, 70, 100 persons. That marriage procession comes, and the puja, everything is done. The people are fed. The next day, at the departure, so that girl who has been brought under her parents for 15, 16, 17 years. So at that scene, the parents departing her, you can just imagine they feel the separation. That girl who has been with them for so many years, she is departing. So everybody starts crying. You cannot feel it here. So there are certain things which we can understand through our traditions, the value of love, the significance of love. We cannot get it here. And there are certain festivals. They are celebrated only to show the love between a brother and a sister, a husband and a wife. Friends, there is a festival after this. Diwali festival, that festival of lights. A day is celebrated when the sister invites her brother, wherever he is in that country, for dinner or supper, whatever. And she waits for him to get tika, she puts something on her forehead and she feeds. So that is a thing that the brother and sister know what love is between a brother and sister. And during this whole color festival, the husband and wife, they feed each other. Even if they are away for the whole of the year, on that particular day, they will stay together. And they exchange this kind of food, everything. So I mean to say that there are festival, functions, traditions, and customs, habits, which are celebrated only to create love in the families. In India, now time is changing with the modern generation. Uh, till last 20, 30 years before, even the parents were invalid. They couldn't move from the bed. The children would never prefer to put them in the hospital. They will be with them as long as they are alive. And they have small houses. So from grandparent to parents, themselves, children and grandchildren, they would prefer to live in a joint family. Now, time is changing and people have to go out in search of job. So they are a bit scattered. But still, the children, grandchildren, they prefer to be with their parents, grandparents at least once in a year. And they spend good time. So this is the value of love. Love is the only thing that keeps us together. I was in Maui with Ramdas. We were talking about love. And I said, the love I am receiving here with this satsang, I was at Maui with all those Western devotees who were with Maharaji. I am proud of that wherever I go, I receive so much of love. If you think, why? There can be no answer. We are not related in nationality, caste, color, creed. In no way, even in religion, we are totally different. But there is some power which has kept us so close. In my case, I feel as if I love them and I receive the love more than my kith and kins, my blood relation, my nearest and dearest relations. So people ask why it is so. I do not have any answer. This is thing to be realized from the heart. If you use your mind, why, then it will remain why. Sometimes a saint used to give an example. There were two persons. One was blindly following this path of love or devotion, and other was very that kind of mind, inquisitive, asking question, why like that? So that saint gave, both of them were wanting an apple, so gave one apple to one person and other apple to. So that person was following blindly that sayings of that Baba. He peeled, cut into pieces and ate, and you could enjoy the real taste of apple. And the other guy, he was looking at it, oh, what type of fruit it is, how it is grown, how big the tree is, what type of climate it requires. His mind was in all these things, and he peeled it, and he couldn't get the real taste of that apple. So the same apple was eaten by two. One could get the real taste, and other couldn't get. So here we can differentiate when we think from here or when we think from. So there are such examples in Ramayana. When, if you treat anybody as God, you should have that feelings, bhav, that faith, he will be your teacher. But if you have any doubts, you cannot progress. That's why first thing, bin vishwasana hoi priti. Without faith, without love, nobody can advance. And as far as I am here, I would like to, it's my humble suggestion that if you have any doubts, I think you must read this Tulsidas's Ramayana. I am writing something about, it will come out next year. Raghu and Rachel, they are also working. So I want to make it get in a category thing that you can get whatever the question is in your mind, you will get the answer in any couplet in that Ramayana. So it's my request, my suggestion that it will be very useful if you go that. And the best one is of that is Roman translation, Hindi version and English translation from there is a Gita Press, Gorakhpur in India. And that is the best translation. And the translation letters are devoted, so devoted. They have translated from heart, not in a maybe to make it more attractive. They have put the what you call devotion in translation. And I think one thing I would like to tell, what I could hear from Maharaji, that he used to say that each and every couplet of Ramayana, every couplet of this Hanuman Chalisa is a mantra for this particular age. Mantra, you understand? Mm-hmm. So if you read it, suppose there is any line you can say, Sukshma Roop Dharishyagi Dikhawa. When you read it, just make a vision, the small form of Hanuman appearing before Sita and then go and ready. Vikata Roop Dhari Lanka Jarawa. Then you make that form of, huge form of Hanuman burning Lanka. Then you can get the real joy of reading that whole Hanuman Chalisa. It will be a bit slow, but sure, you can reach the goal just by reading. You do not have to do any rituals like that. I am not a teacher. I am just an ordinary being. But I have that fortune to be with Maharaji. Whatever I could learn all through these saints, Siddhas.
Yes.
So it's such a rare gift for us to have someone come from India who spent almost his whole life with Maharaji. So anything that you would like to share about your life with Maharaji, especially what you learned about the Ramayana at his feet?
She is asking that since KK spent his whole life with Maharaji, she would like for him to share anything during that time about the Ramayana and Maharaji that he may have experienced. I'll hold it for you.
Actually, my relationship with Maharaji was, people would ask about Gyan, what we call, but I had nothing to do with Gyan. I wanted to play with him like a boy. I had nothing to do with anything else. But he used to call, sometimes he used to scold me, he would get angry, and I loved that. And sometimes I used to create certain things which might irritate him. He used with bad language. I said, oh, it's all your grace. I can hear these words from your mouth. So there are so many types of, I call it one way of bhakti, which I used to have with Maharaj. It has nothing to do with jnana. What is God, what is Paramatma, what is Atma. I have nothing to do with all that. Simply I want to love. I was born in a family where my parents, my elders, my relatives, they were with great saints, and they used to relate the stories which took place, the miracles these great saints performed, and they were the witness, and I wrote them. So all these things were enough for me that I was attracted towards the leela of these things, not for getting jnana, knowledge. I never liked this path. So, and this kind of leela, miracle, these Siddhas performed, that created a kind of, I was so much attracted to be involved as a witness or a person who can enjoy that scene. And I could do, he gave me so many opportunities. I was with him and I liked. But I never asked any question. People say, how can we reach God? I didn't like that questions. So this path which I adopted with Maharaji, it was something totally different. And I myself treated as an spoiled child on his lap. And still today I feel myself, I got an old, young child on his lap.
Bhajans? Will you sing bhajans for us?
I could have some, I remember quite enjoy. You know, this, I'm having very bad throat.
Okay.
I had a kind of this cold attack in October last year. But I will sing
Okay.
sometimes, maybe tonight. I don't, Maharaji has taught us, as long as you are here with the saintly persons like all you should always be prepared to satisfy them in whatever way you like, you can do, or you can afford to do. So it will be a great service if I sing. I will teach seva.
What do you think this is all about? Like, why are so many people coming here and reading these books? Like, what's really going on?
I think the best answer to your question will be your heart. How you feel, how you are attracted, why you are here. Can you give any cause? By this time you could have been loitering there, but some power brought you here. So what do you think about that? Why you are here? Your heart is, you have everything in you. This body is full of all the answers of your questions. But there are certain things which cannot be described in words, just as I told you about love. We can say, I love you, I love this. But what actually love, if you have to, this is a thing to be realized. In Hindi we call anubhuti or anubhava, experience. These are things which we can experience only. Just as if somebody gives you honey or sweet and you eat it, so if you he asks you, what is the taste of honey? How can you describe it? You will say sweet. But what is the taste of a sweet thing? Finally, you will have to ask him, just taste yourself. Then you can know the taste of a sweet thing. So this thing is just like tasting by yourself. And nobody will satisfy you by book or by teachings like that. And the more open your heart, the more pure your heart is, the more easily you can grasp each and everything. It is very simple path. People make it confusing, but it is not like that. I tell everybody, be very simple. Be loving, love each other, everybody will love you. Help everybody as much as you can. So everything will be ready, and we are lucky to have born in this Kali Yuga, where we have to do nothing. We can enjoy other worldly things, but just few minutes taking the name of Ram or doing this Hanuman Chalisa, that is just enough for this life. You can reach the ultimate truth. You can get the Purna Santosha, complete satisfaction. A man in this world is all the, from morn to eve, he is fighting. I have to go to work, I have to earn money. He's my always tension. But once you have that feelings, why so much struggling? Whatever God has given us, that is enough. So why should we be greedy? But this path can satisfy you and can take you away from the tension. Just have one car, that is enough. Why should we have 4 cars? Ultimately, one day we have to leave this world. The only thing that will remain here with love. Everything, the man, he goes away, but his deeds, his love will be remembered by one and all. So this is my humble suggestion. You can do whatever your conscience is.
Thank you.
So, Maharaji kind of put you in charge of the Westerners.
It was all Maharaji's Leela. So what I think, he made me a tool or a channel to carry out his work. Actually, had it not been his will or wish to bring Westerners, he would have not given me that kind of wisdom. So indirectly, he played with me to write to them in that way, all these stories, how these people wanted to come to India, and sometimes Maharaj used to say, no, I don't want to see. Then I had to fight with him.
Right.
What's wrong with you, Baba?
Right.
They are coming from such a distant land, not foreign, they do not want anything from you. They just want to see you, and you are refusing. There is no sense in that. Then, I am very fortunate in that way. I am proud of that. For a few seconds you would not speak, and I was so obstinate, I was pouting like that. Finally he would say, okay, you write whatever you want to write. And I used to take full liberty. I would write whatever I wanted. And they used to come, they would sit with Maharaji, and that joy. Oh, how happy I could see the faces of these Westerners. They were so happy as if they have won the whole world just to be with Maharaj. And Maharaj treated them, they are good people like that. He used to feed them. So this is the way of this Siddhartha.
Hold the mic farther away.
Okay.
Farther away.
Okay.
So most of us here have not met Maharaji in his body.
Right. Actually, what I feel, that we are nearest to Baba. Don't feel that Baba is away from you. If you read the quality of Saint Siddhartha, they never leave. They leave the body just like changing of clothes. So did these saints do. If you feel that Baba is not here, it is your conscience will, if you go deep to understand your heart, you will feel that you are thinking in a wrong way. He is always with you. And I tell all these people that this is a kind of complex. Oh, Baba, we couldn't see Baba, this, and how fortunate these people who have been with Baba. But I feel that those people who have not been with Baba, they are much, much more fortunate than those who were with Baba. I was talking to someone that if you get everything easily, it becomes so cheap. But the same thing, if it becomes, you have to work for that, you have to make effort to get it, it becomes, he thinks it is valuable. So Maharaji had become cheap for all those who were with him. But for people, those who have not seen, they have much more faith in him than those people who were with him. So this is a very simple thing to understand. And it is, I was giving that example, Nainital is a tourist town where I belong. People come from all over the country to visit the tops from where you can see the Himalayas, the lake, and the natural beauty. And they know the value of that place. But for we people, the permanent resident of that locality, we cannot know the value. People, we can see everybody coming, that's enough. I haven't been to these places for the last 40, 50 years. But I can see the craze of the tourists. They come and they visit all these places. They know the value. So easy to Bible. Those people who were with Maharaji, they couldn't understand so much as you people, those who have not been with Maharaji. I treat them more fortunate, more blessed than those who were with Maharaji. So you should throw out this complex immediately that you were not with Maharaji, and Maharaji is more nearer to you people than those people who claim that they were with him.
I think that question concludes our webcast for today.
First of all, I pranam to each and everybody, and once again I would like to thank you, because as long as I was with you, I am with you, I feel Maharaji's presence. So I have no words how to thank you all. No.
Thank you.
Ram Ram, Shri Shri Shri, Akusarat, Bhavani Kroni, Santa Maharaj Ki Jai.